This is Andy Parol for Boxing Social, and I'm glad we're joined by former world champion Hasim Rahman here in Saudi Arabia. Hasim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
It's good to hear. Obviously, as I've mentioned, we're out here in Saudi. How have you found your time whilst you've been out here?
Oh, it's marvelous, marvelous. It's always a pleasure to come here. I enjoy myself every single time.
You've obviously lived through an era of boxing where fights took place all over the world. Would you ever imagine during your time in your career a fight would have ever happened out here in Saudi?
Never. But the world's constantly changing, so I've learned to not put anything past anything. So you never know what can happen.
You do never know what's going to happen, but obviously we are here now. Michael Hunter, your charge, faces Hunter-Povetkin on Saturday night. Just talk about what you've been preparing for in camp.
We've been preparing for Hunter-Povetkin. So we've been preparing for his strengths. So we ready to deal with it and give him some of our strengths.
What have you been working on with Michael as his career's progressed? He's continued to pick up the victories. What have you been working on with him?
I mean, just, like bringing out the best of Michael Hunter. I mean, you can't get specifics, but what I can give you is this. I heard you talking to Michael earlier about Martin Bacoli. We fought him in his own country. Tell him come to Vegas and fight the rematch if he wanted.
Would you be open to that? Would you be happy for that if something could be agreed?
Tell him come to Vegas and we'll fight him in Vegas. Let's do that.
We'll come on to that one later on, but just to stick with this bout on Saturday night, how exactly did you kind of see the fight playing out between Michael and Alexander?
How do I think what?
How did you see the fight playing out when they're both in the ring between Michael and Alexander?
Alexander, I think Michael got too much of everything for him. I think we're going to win this fight by stoppage.
You've obviously had your share of rematches with Lennox. You fought Lennox Lewis twice. In your opinion, what would be the bigger upset? Your fight versus Lennox or Ruiz versus Joshua out in New York?
Well, you asked the wrong person because I don't believe my fight was an upset because I thought I was going to win going in. So obviously I'm going to say Ruiz versus Joshua.
You obviously have to, you know how it is to try and change your mentality from being somebody chasing the world title to trying to defend it. How do you think Anthony Joshua needs to prepare in his rematch against Andy Ruiz?
I definitely think he needs to change some tactics. I think he should focus on trying to outbox him instead of trying to knock him out. But I mean, you get fixated on knockouts when you're knocking everybody out. So that's how he got knocked out, trying to knock him out. So I think he needs to switch it a little bit and just try to outbox him and win the decision.
Michael mentioned that he's been sparring Andy Ruiz. What have you seen with Andy Ruiz yourself when you've seen him in camp preparing?
Oh, I think he's definitely in good shape, strong. He's a bull. He's definitely coming to knock Anthony Joshua out. So I can tell you that if Andy get a chance to knock him out, fight's over.
So how do you see the fight itself playing out, that headline fight between Andy Ruiz and AJ?
I can see Andy knocking Joshua out, but I can also see Joshua playing it really, really safe and winning a boring decision.
Just over a week ago as well, we saw Deontay Wilder stop Luis Ortiz. What was your thoughts on his victory?
I thought it was, typical Wilder. Guys be out in front on the scorecards. And Wilder got their equalizer, and he let it go, and then fight's over.
That win for Deontay seems to have set up the rematch with Tyson Fury next year. How do you see that one playing out once it is officially confirmed?
I think Deontay gonna land that right hand, and I think he'll catch Tyson. And I think Deontay probably took something out of Tyson the first time they fought, and just nobody exposed it yet. But I think when he get back in there, I think when he knock him down this time, I think he's going to need more than 10 seconds to get up.
In your opinion, who do you think is the current leading heavyweight in the division?
Who do I think what?
Who's the best heavyweight in the division currently?
You don't think I'm biased?
True.
Well, Michael Hunter.
How far off challenging for a world title do you feel Michael is?
From Michael Hunter is one fight. This fight. After Povetkin, we won a world title. Whoever it is. It don't matter. Wilder, whoever's wilder than Wilder, whoever.
You're going to be knocking down Eddie Hearn's door.
We want no Eddie realized what he got in Michael Hunter, so he should be bringing it to us on a silver platter, whoever it is.
Well, Hasim Rahman, I will leave it there. It's a pleasure to catch up with a great of the heavyweight division. Thank you for giving up your time and speaking to myself on Boxing Social.
No problem. Appreciate you.